How's it going, everybody? Welcome to your one-stop shop for legendary loot news, and although for the most part this channel is 100% focused on bringing you news on games that revolve around loot and items, once in a while I like to bring your attention to some other games in order to give them more attention, etc., as is the case with the game we're talking about today. As I was scrolling through Twitter a few days ago looking for some more indie titles to showcase over on my TikTok, which you should definitely go follow at justjared_, I came across this game called Dice Gambit, and instantly the art style stuck out to me and I had to play it literally just for that. And here we are. One of the devs of the game, Anton, DM'd me on Twitter, let me try out the demo build a few days early, and now we're going to talk about it. This demo is also free and released today, so once you're done watching this, if you want to try out the couple hours long demo for yourself, I'll leave the link in the description and pinned comment so you can go download it. Okay, so Dice Gambit is a turn-based tactics game where you roll and allocate dice to control the 3 characters you have access to. Each character has a variety of unique skills and moves that they can perform, and the game even features a leveling system for each character that grants you new abilities to choose from, so you can ultimately create your own playstyle in the realm of each character's combat style. When I was near the end of the demo, each of my characters had their own thing. One was built to provide support with tons of armor and shields, one focused on long-range attacks and quick movement, and the other was able to block paths with crystals that allowed me to funnel enemies or make escape routes, and also those crystals acted as turrets, which was dope. Definitely my favorite character of the 3. But I also leveled each of those characters up 5 times, and each time you can choose a new skill or keep the ones you already have, so there's tons of options including passive abilities. Abilities like get extra dice, start rounds with certain buffs, make all my crystal turrets fire at once. Even though this is just a demo, there's quite a bit of variety, which is nice to see. So how the dice work is that at the beginning of your turn, you roll a few dice depending on how many characters you have for that mission. These dice have 5 faces, so 5 sides, weirdly enough. Not sure how that translates in real life. I don't think I've ever even seen a 5-sided die. Anyways, these faces all have icons that dictate what your characters do. You've got attack, move, defend, signature, and cursed faces. These main dice are shared between every character and can only be used once. Each individual character also has their own set of personal dice just for them with the same faces. The movement face lets you move 3 spaces across the tile-based area, attack face lets you attack, defense gives you armor, signature lets you perform a character's unique ability, and a cursed die is basically a joker. You can use it for anything, but it also puts the equivalent of a curse on you, and if you use too many cursed dice, you'll end up taking damage over time every turn. If you don't understand my explanation of how the game and the dice work, there's a tutorial in the demo that explains everything, so you don't gotta worry about that. So the goal is to complete the mission that you load into with the dice you get. Every mission in the demo is different in that some of them you just have to eliminate all the enemies. There's one where you have to escape without dying, another where you just have to survive a certain number of turns, and then there's a big boss mission at the end that I couldn't beat because honestly I've always been terrible at these kind of games. At the start of every turn, you get to roll your dice and use them to the best of your ability to do what the mission entails. You can use the base form of each die, but the real tactics and main gameplay elements come into play when you start combining dice to use abilities. Each ability requires 2 specific dice rolls, and with dice being shared by each character, you really have to think about who's going to use which dice. You also have the option to re-roll as many dice as you want, but you can't do this infinitely. You'll frequently ask yourself, do I use 2 attack dice to deal a good chunk of 4 damage to an area, or instead use 1 attack die and 1 defense die to give an explosive shield to an ally? Do I use my 3 movement dice to get out of danger, or stay put and armor up using defense dice to utilize my armor-based parry ability? Sometimes you get absolutely screwed over by the dice. It really is a game of luck as well as tactics. For example, during the mission where you have to escape the room with both of your characters without either one dying, for the absolute life of me, I could not roll any movement dice, and it was impossible to stay alive because the reason we were escaping was because we were in enemy territory and the enemies kept spawning in. After multiple attempts, I finally got through it with a super lucky roll in the beginning where I rolled almost all movement and got a big head start before the vampire bats that apply endless bleed damage and creepers that slow you down spawned in. I'd imagine a lot of that can be fixed or fine-tuned as the game gets developed, so it's not really too much of a problem. Do note that this is just an early demo. The dev team consists of 3 people who've been working on this for about a year now, so it's still very early in terms of development, as the team hopes to land a publishing deal sometime in the future to possibly go full-time on developing. You can tell that the demo has some placeholder sound effects and icons, things like that, but it doesn't take away from the gameplay the devs are trying to create or get across to you. All in all, I had a great time with the demo. I'm sure I'll jump back in over the next few days to tackle the boss. I got him down to like 3 health one time, so I can probably get it done. Honestly, my favorite thing about this game is the visuals and the art style. Although there is some placeholder stuff like I mentioned before, and some of the enemies don't have animations yet, if the team ends up being able to develop Dice Gambit full-time and polish out the game, story, and visuals, I think this vibrant neo-renaissance art style alone could sell the game to a lot of people and really grab attention. I think my only gripe with the visuals is some of the color choices. When things get chaotic and there's a lot of enemies and auras around, a lot of the colors start to mesh with each other, and it really makes it hard to see what's going on, or where the tiles are, where you can move to, what tiles enemies are on, things like that. But once again, it's a very early build of the game. I still definitely recommend trying out the demo for yourself, especially if you're a fan of tactics-based games. It can for sure be a challenge at times, so if you're into a challenge, definitely go for it. But that's it for this video and early look at Dice Gambit. Once again, I'll leave the link to the demo in the description and pinned comment, as well as other links if you want to go follow the development of the game and or the devs. Big thanks to Anton for the opportunity and reaching out to me. But that's going to do it for me. Make sure to like the video for plus 10 luck. Patreon supporters get plus 100 luck. Thank you, Kyle and Vanilla. And until next time, have a good one.